Good morning, y'all. What I wanted to speak about is personal, well-being, recovery. How do you take care of yourself? How do you do things that are good for you and build yourself up? Look, I'm no world-class expert, but I do have a lot of personal experience of getting my act together and dealing with my own shit. So right now, I am visiting my therapist, who is an incredible human being and who, I don't see as much anymore. I used to see him all the time, but that was quite a while ago. So now, maybe a few times a year, something like that. So anyway, I will check back in after the appointment because I'm gotta get my ass up there. 2 minutes to go. Anyway, talk to you later. Peace. Oh my God, that was so good. It's never not good. So I'm back from the appointment with my therapist. Sometimes we wait to talk about things, or I don't know. I was always taught that you don't do things to take care of yourself because something bad has happened. I mean, if you've lived a long time before getting help, then that is the scenario where you've waited. But once you know what your path is, or once you are on a path to recovery or even to taking care of yourself or changing something about your life, then the best way to stay on the path is to continue to do the things that you've learned to do to be well. Now, fortunately, I was taught that very early, and that stuck with me very well and thoroughly. That's just something to keep in mind. Anyway, so what did I talk to my therapist about today? Well, one, I'm doing this master's program. Most of the work, all the class work is online. The practicum is in person. So I'm doing counseling psychology. And for someone like me who has ADHD, it is torturous to do this online stuff. And I basically had a panic attack about a month or so ago around all of this because, that's a long story, but the ADHD, whatever, makes sitting down doing online work very difficult. And it was just helpful to hash that out with him and to learn really about what, more about myself and why that was difficult and what might have led to the panic attack and etc. So, luckily I have an army or a squad of people that I get help from. So during the panic attack, or during that super rough month, I was in my mindfulness groups with a doctor. She's a lovely woman and she's another part of my crew. So I have all these people that I like to look at them as coaches basically, right? Or as when I do my talks with people, particularly with kids, I always talk about my superhero squad. Nobody, including Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or Wayne Gretzky or whoever it is, I like athletes because that's, who spoke to me when I was a kid, but nobody does great things on their own. Nobody. Everybody needs a team of support, or everybody needs help. And I have that. And I'm very grateful for that, and I hold on to that with gratitude and with a firm grip, because these people have helped shape me into who I am today, and they will continue to shape me, and I will continue to rely on them, but also to learn from them, because it's really important. And if you want to be a better person, it doesn't matter how good you are today, because it's all about who you are and where you were or where you are. We can benefit from the help of others, and that has just been a beautiful lesson of mine. So we talked about the panic attack. We also talked about maybe I should switch into a different master's program for learning that's more relates to my type of learning and more experiential stuff, which is probably a good idea. We'll see. I don't know. We'll look into it. We also spoke about good ways of interacting with my kids, which I'm quite proud of. I think I do a really good job. But again, there's always ways to learn. And we actually talked about my own childhood and how that may influence or not influence, my behaviors, or maybe part of that led to the panic attack. Anyway, whole bunch of cool stuff. I want to save the thing about kids for my next parenting video, because I think that stuff is really important and very helpful, and I don't see enough people talking about parenting and what we need to do in today's world to help our kids deal with, you know, the reality that confronts them, because there's a youth mental health crisis, which is true, but for God's sakes, parents and adults, take some fucking responsibility for it and do stuff for yourself to make you a better human being so that you can help kids more, okay? That's in my next video. Anyway, therapy is amazing. Coaching, I like to call it glorified coaching. I had to wait a long time, but thank God Canada has takes care of its people through healthcare, and I was able to get it that way. Anyway, till next time. I forgot to do this last time, but put your hand on your heart and feel it, connect to it, and as Eric Thomas would say, breathe life into it, and say, my state of mind starts with me. Peace.